Hey guys, how's it going? Broken Gamer Face over here, and today I'm going to show you a little bit of gameplay of me training my Wind Archer revamped. I know it's a little bit late for me to start it, but I didn't really have time since I had so much homework, so yeah. Today for this video I really want to share a story that happened to me yesterday, and it was quite a weird story, I'll be honest. And what happened was, yesterday was the day me and my sister were trying to celebrate my mom's birthday. And my mom's birthday is originally the 17th, but she was registered the 19th. And I know it's way too early, but we don't live with my mom, so we wanted to give her a present. My sister ended up buying her some really expensive Michael Kors purse or something like that, and my mom loved it. But what happened was we decided to go to a restaurant to eat, and we really enjoyed the food. Like, we're just eating, relaxing, wishing my mom a happy birthday. When the girl next to us, she started looking really dizzy and she started going all pale, and we were just wondering, we're worried, we're like, what's going on? Is there something wrong with her? Now, she was with her husband and a daughter, I believe, and she was roughly 50 years old, I believe. And what happened was she had to lay down, so we moved the table next to her just so we can give her like space so she can lay down. We didn't really mind, that was no problem. And something weird, she just kept getting back up and collapsing, and her husband was just there, and he's like, no, she's fine, she just ate too much, she's tired. And you can see her, she's getting dizzy and pale, and I saw her daughter laughing, just joking around, and I don't know if they're trying to calm her down, but it was really weird. And she kept collapsing, and I'm like, should we call 911? Do we get an ambulance or not? And the family's like, no, it's okay. They don't really, like, they didn't just share any interest in what happened. Like, you don't notice that someone right next to you is completely fainting and not unconscious. And she's trying to, like, say, it's okay, like, I'll just give it some time, maybe I'll get a little better. But you can clearly see that she's not doing well. And she was just gone. I mean, she was fainting. Like, she was, like, not even unconscious. So my mom kept insisting, let's just call an ambulance, because it's not healthy what she's going through. You can see she's pale and she's not doing, like, she's clearly not doing well. So the husband finally let in. He's like, oh, one sec, we'll just wait a little bit and see if she doesn't get better, we'll call one. And we're like, it's not even, doesn't even look like it's a big deal to him. It looks like as if he just doesn't care. And I just didn't notice how he couldn't see how much in pain she was, and you can see how she really wasn't comfortable and she just wasn't there. So I'm insisting, I'm like, you know what, let's just call the ambulance. And he's like, no, don't worry. And we called one. Like, we're like, it doesn't matter what he said anymore. It got to the point where it's becoming a little bit serious now. So we called one, and it took, while we were on the phone with one, it was in Ottawa, that's where I am, and they didn't know where the place was, so they're trying to ask us what intersection, what road, and we give them the exact address, and they're like, oh, can you give us the street? And we give them the street, and they keep asking us questions before they even send one, and they're taking their sweet ass time, and you can tell because they keep asking my mom questions. I know they're like, okay, fine, just stay there and we'll send one, and they said it with like so much attitude. So I was there, I was confused. I was about to literally take the phone and be like, there's no need to disrespect anyone here. We didn't do anything wrong. We're just concerned about someone. So usually police, they say that their goal is they want the ambulance to be there within 4 to 6 minutes. This ambulance took around 15 to 20 minutes, and there's a police station right nearby. Like, it's not even that far. And it's police. The police could have even came. It wouldn't really make a... if they could have been trained or something, they could have made a difference. They could have helped. Maybe they knew what was going on. Personally, I thought she was having a stroke. And she's a little young. I know 50 isn't that old, but she said her body was kind of numb. She was pale. Her speech was a little slurred, so I noticed something really wasn't right. And when the ambulance came, there was kind of gates around the restaurant we were because we were doing construction. And we were trying to direct, I was outside trying to direct them to come to a different side so they can come and park and they can get into the main entrance. And they are just not responding with a positive, like, they're not positive at all. Like, they act like they hate their job. You should be happy you're saving people's lives. I know it's work and it's not fun, but it's just, and do your job and do it right. Don't take your time when someone's not feeling well. and you can clearly see that the driver's like, oh, where do we go? And we're like, okay, so we're like, go to the front and I'll direct you there. And I was the only one directing there. Someone came out from the restaurant and actually helped me direct, and we directed them around the restaurant. And I see them come out the ambulance, and they're just there, and they're just walking, taking their sweet time. I'm like, so I'm trying to fill them in with what's going on. I said, okay, she's pale, she's dizzy, she said she has slurred speech, she's not doing well, and you can clearly see it in her face, and she's a little bit numb right now, and she's not unconscious. And he's like, okay. So he goes back in the ambulance and just waits and just talks to his partner, and they aren't doing anything. Like, you can see how they have just no emotion on their face. So I'm just waiting there, and the ambulance man finally comes out of the truck, and he just comes and he's walking with me, and I'm trying to lead him inside, like trying to kind of rush him, but he's just taking his sweet time. Like, you can clearly see that they just hate their job, and they're not willing to help anyone. So I'm leading them inside, and I notice the girl still isn't doing better, and then I hear the husband saying, you know, I'm a doctor and she's a doctor, and don't worry, there's nothing wrong with her. And I'm like, wouldn't you think that if you were a doctor, you would call the ambulance just because there's an emergency going on? You never really know what's going on, and you can clearly see she's not doing well. If you're a doctor, why wouldn't you alert a hospital ambulance and say, please come, at this moment I'm not doing anything, I'm being immature, and I need someone to come help out my wife. So the ambulance gets there, and we're here, and the ambulance man's coming inside, and he's taking his time talking to them. He talked to the restaurant owner or something like that. Some guy came and he's like, is there something wrong? He's like, no, just some girl is not feeling well. So he goes, and my mom's like, okay, we should leave. And if I found out we should leave because the ambulance is already there, and my mom was the only contact with the ambulance. That's why we had to stay. And when we were leaving, I noticed the ambulance man, his eyes lit up because he noticed that she wasn't in a good state. He's like, oh dear, like you can clearly see it in his face. And as soon as we walked out, you can see he's like trying to get her up, he's trying to rush her, and he's trying to he calls out to his partner, and he's like, okay, bring a stretcher, or this might be a little serious, because he noticed he wasn't taking his sweet time anymore. So I want to say this is a really weird experience. And after that we left, and I heard sirens go off, so maybe she was inside the truck and she wasn't doing well, or I don't know, hopefully she was doing fine. But I just found it really weird how the ambulance man and people around them just act so immaturely, and I'm 14 and I act more mature than a 50-year-old guy. So it just made no sense. He claimed he was a doctor, but he wasn't doing anything. He just laid her down and said okay, and he kept eating and talking to his daughter normally. He just didn't show any interest, and he acted like she was just pulling this out of her ass. Sorry, excuse my language, but it's just how I felt. So I just want to know, for you guys, what was the weirdest thing that happened to you at a restaurant, and what was the most immature thing that's happened to you also at a restaurant? So 2 questions right there, and I hope you guys can answer that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So what was weirdest thing? It could be anything. It could be happening to you or your friend, or it could be anything that's happened to you anywhere. In fact, if it's not a restaurant, maybe like somewhere like a store or anywhere, like clothes shop or anything, I don't know. So just leave that in the comments. You can tweet that to me on Twitter. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later. This video will be up a little bit, maybe around 6 p.m. Eastern, and you guys can tweet me anytime. I'm usually always up. I know I don't really sleep. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.